Like the Mewtwo EX deck is pretty straightforward. It's like, hope you get out a Mewtwo and spam side drive, whereas like Pikachu has a few different builds and it has a bunch of different lines you can go for, you know, and there's more like retreating and making the use of the health on multiple attackers in the Pikachu deck. So I think if you only want to, like, you know, especially if you were going to like spend a little bit of money to get decks, I would recommend the Pikachu EX deck first, because I think the Pikachu EX deck is the most interesting and the strongest. So that's my advice. I hope you enjoyed it. What up, Circle? Thanks, Mr. Fine. You're new here, grats, mate. Hey, thanks, Mr. Fine. Yeah, it's my partner anniversary on Twitch, apparently. When was that? Was I a partner in 2020? I'm almost sure of it. So it's been like 4 years. Alright, my opponent is about to get Mewtwo'd in the Gengar face. Is Arcanine playable? Pull 2 of them, but I don't have Moltres. So if you have Moltres, Arcanine is very playable. And part of that is because Pikachu EX is so good. The Arcanine can one-shot Pikachu EX, and that works out just great. So it's also faster than Charizard. Like, Charizard is a little hard to get out because it's a stage 2 and there aren't good tutors. So like when you play the Charizard Moltres deck, once you get out Charizard, you sweep your opponent and there's nothing you can do about it. They can do about it. And the Arcanine deck is more reliable and it's good into the Pikachu deck because it does enough damage to knock out Pikachu, but the Arcanine is much more fragile, so your opponent can like knock out the Arcanine and win from there, whereas the Charizard is unkillable. Hey, Axel. Am I gonna play more Bazaar? I don't think I'm good enough at the Bazaar to stream it, frankly. How's Pokemon going? I started the game yesterday. I think it's good. I think it's pretty good. I'm looking forward to a new expansion because the one thing, like, I feel like this game's major problem is, like, sorry, not like any one thing, but like the major problem is there aren't enough cards, right? There aren't enough trainer cards to support every archetype. A lot of the lower to the ground stuff is just really strong because you can't reliably get your evolutions out because the tutors aren't there yet. So I imagine as we get more cards, a lot of these slower decks are going to become more consistent, and you know, like Venusaur and Charizard are really strong. It's just getting them out with enough energies on them can be a bit of an ordeal. So if those decks, I'm not sure I'm actually supposed to bench all this stuff, but I'm gonna. If those decks got more reliable, like if waiting to get all of your big things out was more guaranteed, you know, they can actually those decks have to give their opponent a ton of time. And when you give a fast deck a ton of time, it's really hard to beat them. So you need to be able to give them the shortest amount of time necessary. So if, like, on your third turn, you definitely had your stage 2 out ready to go, those stage 2 decks would be more powerful. And the fix for that is more cards, basically. So, well, once we get more, like, tutors and draw options and like support Pokemon for these slower decks, I think that the game could be a lot more interesting. It's just right now we're kind of hard locked into a couple of strategies as far as like what's powerful, just because there aren't that many cards in the game yet. Also, my opponent is about to feel the cold hand of Sabrina on their Charmander, unless they bench something else right here. This is why the fossil stuff is good for the Charizard deck, because you can play that fossil now, just so that they have something to send up if they want to, if I'm going to Sabrina them. And then once the Charizard is up, they can discard the fossil if I didn't Sabrina them, so that I can't just Sabrina around the Charizard to take my 3rd point. But unless they play something else, I'm gonna Sabrina and knock out that Charmeleon. And if that something else is anything other than a Charizard, then if I get my second, well, no, I have to wait until the Charizard comes up, and then I just Sabrina around that to take my 3rd point. This could be tough, actually. That might be fine, because I think it's going to be tough for me to set up a second Gardevoir. Or set up a second Mewtwo. But yeah, that Moltres over there on the bench protects them for now. But if I could use Side Drive a second time, it would be Sabrina bait. The fact that they have all that energy is kind of a problem. Maybe not. If they have an X speed, it's a problem. They could also just, like, now it's looking like they don't have the Charizard. They top deck the Charizard, now they won't have... Huh. Yeah, I don't know. So, like, if they top deck the Charizard and they had sent out the Moltres, they could have used X speed or their Fire Energy for the turn to retreat it to send up the Charmeleon to knock out the Mewtwo. But then they have a Charizard with 2 energy on it. Or they have a Charizard with 3 energy on it, but no energy on the Moltres. So either way, I'm going to be able to Sabrina and stall for the turn I need to power up the next Mewtwo. So I think you just send up the Charmeleon there and hope to top deck the Charizard, because if you don't top deck the Charizard, there's nothing you can do with the Moltres in that spot. Anyways. As a person who never played Pokemon Pocket before, what do you think would be good support for Ditto? I think that if Ditto had just required you to put any like, the Ditto in the game right now has an attack that copies the defending Pokemon's attacks, but you have to copy it precisely. So like, if the attack requires a Water, a Lightning, and a Colorless, the needs a Water and a Lightning and a 3rd energy. But if the if the Ditto just needed the amount of energy, like if it could copy the attack but any energy on Ditto is enough to use the attack, then it would be an interesting tech card. You could play Ditto and, you know, power it up with whatever energy you're running right now. But the fact that you have to like use whatever unique energy your opponent's deck is using, it's like completely pointless. You could have like an all colorless deck where every energy is in your energy zone, but then like, what's the guarantee you'll find the energies you need to use the attack? It's inherently flawed. Jordan coming in with the 26 months. Jordan, thank you so much. How are you, my friend? Do any cards in the history of Pokemon TCG exist that can give wildcard energy? Sure. Like, something I really want for this TCG is an item that just changes the energy that's available to you for the turn. Like right now they have a water energy they can play up here, and they have a water energy on deck. If you could change either the one that's in play or the one that's on deck to a different energy from that's in your energy zone, then that'd be a really good item for dual type decks. They should just add that. But like even then, I think Ditto is a little wildly inconsistent. So like maybe they could come out with some kind of like supporter, like if they came out with like Copycat, but like had new text on it. So like Don't think about Copycat from the Paper TCG, but like, I get that character has a Ditto, doesn't she? So, anyways, like if Copycat in this game was like your Ditto, any energy on your Ditto is every energy. Like that would be a cool supporter to support the Ditto, because then you're adding the effect of being able to play the Ditto in any deck, but then you just have a supporter to change what type it has on it, or like give it access to your opponent's energy. That would be okay. Is this game worth investing time into, in your opinion? I think so, yeah. It's like the pack opening aspect of it is fun enough on its own, I think. And you can either get into the battling or not, just whatever you want. Yo, fat streamer. That's me, the fat streamer. I thought that sound was a Discord ping. People say that, but I never have like sounds on Discord, so I don't know. Fingers crossed the mini set expansion buff a lot of the meme archetypes. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. My opponent is getting riggedy wrecked. Oh my goodness. It's so over for them, chat. My opponent loves Lapras, and I love, you know, how much I get to just ruin their Laprases. Look at this. Give them the old Psychic Sphere. Did they attach active last turn? Doesn't seem right. Why is Giovanni good? I hear it mentioned a lot. If I don't get it the first time, can you explain it slower and louder? All right, you got it. Giovanni is okay because there aren't that many cards in the game, and it allows you to change your Pokemon's breakpoints. So, like, what's a good example? Baby Zapdos does 3 for 100 and 20 more damage if and Starmie is weak to lightning, so it deals 20 more damage, so it's 3 for 120. The Starmie has 130 health, so it allows you to hit the 130 breakpoint to hit a popular Pokemon, Starmie. So that would be an example. But there's a lot of things like that. For like in this deck, the Mewtwo can't one-hit knockout Exeggutor X, and it can't one-hit knockout Dragonite. So with the Giovanni, you can deal 160 to those Pokemon that you couldn't otherwise. And there's some where, like, you know, the first attack on the Mewtwo is 2 for 50. If you have both of your Giovanni, you can hit a Pikachu for 60 twice over 2 turns and then save your second attack's energy for whatever threat comes after. So it just allows your attacks to be more flexible. But I don't think the 10 damage is worth a supporter most of the time. Is that like a special annoying noise it makes whenever you see this? My opponent has their Ralts, and they got to go first, so things are looking good for them. I have Curly in hand, and I have Gardevoir in hand, so it could be looking good for me. But yeah, I think once we get more cards, people are going to start going down to, like, at most 1 Giovanni. Because I don't think, like, an extra 10 damage is worth the supporter in the turn most of the time. Thanks, Wordglad. We got Artwork diffs. I actually could play... I think I have 2 of these. I just don't really like them, and for streaming purposes, I've recently started to prefer basic artwork. Just, I feel like it's more, you know, visually something. So, and they have to skip Curlia or skip Gardevoir for me to be in a good spot here, I think. Is this the new version with Baby Mewtwo? Yes, I put in Baby Mewtwo in because people think it's good. This is, I think, a prime example of how it's, like, can be not good, but... I'm about to send it up as fodder. And I think that'll be okay. So, like... I do this... Then I X speed, retreat for this Mewtwo, and I think it's gonna be fine, right? Because then this has 2 energy on it now, and if they Sabrina me, I'll just send up this Mewtwo as fodder, and then we get to side drive twice every time, so that'll be cool. Okay, so the one way where this loses me momentum is if they don't have Gardevoir, but surely they have it with only 7 cards left in their deck. Surely. If they don't have it, then I've just lost all my momentum for no reason. I think we're still fine, though. As long as they take their first knockout on the Mewtwo that we haven't powered up. This is another good thing about the Mewtwo, is like, it has so much health. Opponent can't just like... Opponent can't just use their side drive to knock it out next. They have to use... Or they can't use Psychic Sphere to knock it out next. They have to side drive. In which case... they lose their energy. But yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. I wonder if they have both Gardevoir. That'd be very funny. Is it already time? Good luck out there. It's just a tank then? Like you never power it up? Well, you power it up. Like, what's nice about it is it can tank, and you can't leave it there to stall for time, because if you leave it there to stall for time, in like if you're playing Pikachu or something like that, or Starmie, it one-shots you, like, because it does have a lot of damage. So it can be a tank while also being a threat. All right, we literally never lose from here, because you know what? We could lose from here. If they have the second Gardevoir, yeah, they win. That'd be so interesting. I've never seen it come down to a person got down a second Gardevoir before. That'd be great. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Be cooler if I did it. But man. Do you not put energy cards in the deck anymore? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, they're just in the energy zone. Yeah, in paper TCG, you have to run energy cards in your deck. Clefairy, huh? No Gardevoir, huh? Good for me. Good for me. Do you just use an emulator to play on PC? I've heard that they start to work now, and I should set it up because I use a screen sharing thing to play with my tablet on screen. But like you can see sometimes it gets a little jarbly towards the bottom. I'd prefer to use an emulator. But I haven't set it up yet, so. I didn't think I'd get to stream today is the thing. So I didn't bother to figure that out in advance. But I had the opportunity to stream today, so I was like, yeah, I'll just use the Let's View again. But yeah, I feel like an emulator could be cleaner than the little, like, you know, jarbly pixelation that happens sometimes at the bottom there. But this is good enough for now. Oh, is that my final thing? Look at me go. I did it, trying to be the yeah. Are you over 6 feet and can play basketball? I have an offer for you. I am over 6 feet, and I can't play basketball because I'm bad. I can attempt to play basketball. Happy partner anniversary. I rewinded the YouTube stream to the beginning of the to hear you say it was your partner anniversary, so I came on Twitch to send best wishes. Hey, thank you, White. I appreciate it. How much longer will the Versus event last? It's till like the 27th, so you got like, you know, over a week left to do it. Which is why I haven't been pressuring it. Like, I mostly play on stream because there isn't a ranked mode yet, so there's not like a big, you know, it's not very exciting for me to play by myself. I like to open the game every day to kind of keep up with packs and stuff, like the resources, and like occasionally I'll like play a couple Pikachu games, but until I put a ranked mode, there's not really that much reason for me to keep playing like without streaming. So I don't tend to play a lot off stream, and I didn't feel pressured to because I was like, oh no, I'm definitely gonna just like incidentally finish that over the course of streaming Pocket this month. So yeah, just like what happened. Happy partner anniversary. All hail our glorious leader, Daddy Bezos. All right. Thanks, Schmoopy. Yo, what up, Gooey Daniel? How you doing? Are you playing Pocket? Hey, we got a Ralts. I can play basketball, but I shouldn't. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Is Reshiram or Archetypes in game yet? No, not yet. How's my little slice of life going? It's pretty good, pretty good. Trick your Twitch audience into thinking your YouTube chat is really active. All right, chat. All my YouTube chat people are chiming in. All right, what are you doing? Curlia. Aw. Well, there you go. The next event will be pretty harder though. Need a 5-win streak for gold. Oh. Interesting. Thanks, Calabac. Yep, I'm really enjoying it. Even got my girl into it, and she finished the event before I did. Oh, nice, cool. Ow, my face. It's kind of weird to say ow, my face in Pokemon. Doesn't quite work the same as ow, my face in Hearthstone. Alright, well, here's a Ralts. Yeah, they don't even have a Sabrina out now. I think they just lose. Right? Can you win as my opponent from the spot? I have 2x speed, so is that a disaster if I do that actually? I was gonna say I could Sabrina. No, I can't Sabrina and Giovanni in the same turn. I'm silly. Never mind. I take everything I said back. I sent her your YouTube videos because it's her first card game and now she's upset. Oh, nice. Oh, thanks you for watching and knowing about them. Dear Potato Lord Marshall Stew, could you explain to me, as if I was 7 years old, what the difference between Pokemon Pocket and Pokemon TCG? Pokemon Pocket, you get points instead of prize cards. Your deck is 1/3 of the size. You only need to get half as many point/prize cards. And you have 2 less bench spots. You also can't attach an energy on the first turn, but can attack and use supporters. I can't play basketball, and I shouldn't. Not allowed on the courts anymore. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, this seems like a W to me. Yeah, I think you probably wanted to attach to your benched Mewtwo this turn. Now we just win. So they probably like don't attack with Mewtwo this turn or what? They need a turn. They didn't need a turn if they have Gardevoir and if they attach to the bench Mewtwo this turn. But now they need a turn. So I think they shouldn't attack with the Mewtwo and just hope that, oh, alright, that's one way to do it. Now my Sabrina's looking really good though. Sent up Kirlia. Well, that requires me to draw a Kirlia and a Gardevoir, actually. Huh. Trying to decide if I thought that was a good move or not. Oh, they did! I'm silly. I'm silly. They still had an energy to attach. Wait. So they were in a really good spot. If they had a Gardevoir. But, I mean, if you're setting up Kirlia here, do you have a Gardevoir? I have 6 cards left in my deck. 1 is a Research, and 2 are a Gardevoir. And they will not have a Mewtwo to attack me with this coming turn. Like, as far as dealing 150. So, I think it's pretty safe to use both my X speeds to retreat this thing and knock out this Kirlia. So it's basically like a 50%, like slightly less than 50%. Because we could top deck Professor's Research and then draw 2 of the non-Gardevoir cards. That would be brutal. But, you know, pretty close to 50% shot that we get to just Gardevoir and win the game this coming turn. And I think what I do if I don't get the Gardevoir is I Sabrina and start, you know, Well, now I don't Sabrina. So I have to hit the Gardevoir or I'm in a tough spot, I think. Gardevoir, 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 come on. What are you doing to me? Now I have to retreat this Mewtwo, I think. They still have some prizes to get, right? Or points to get, rather, so like I can afford to have them knock out a Mewtwo and then knock out a Kirlia. That's not a problem. Alright, yeah, we still win just fine, right? We just need a Gardevoir at some point in the next 2 turns, and we will have it, so it's fine. I think it's going to be correct for me to send up a Kirlia. Like, we're more likely to draw a Gardevoir than not, right? But I have to discard 2 energies from the Mewtwo again if it ends up being the non-Gardevoir, and I don't need to. Like, I have the time. So yeah, that was GG. I think I'm going to hold the Gardevoir because the next card might not be Gardevoir. And I don't want them to, like, Sabrina, I'm forced to send up Gardevoir and then not draw the Gardevoir. Not draw the second one. So yeah, we just chill. Although that said, if they don't knock out Kirlia this turn, I think not knocking out the Kirlia only delayed the inevitable. And like, if I drew Gardevoir, it would end up being fine anyway, because I get Gardevoir this one to retreat the active, and then Gardevoir the second one to attack with a Mewtwo. So I don't see a lot of upside for that, but Yeah, I don't know. Opponent was in a rough spot, I think, regardless. Yay for me! Is your how to start content still relevant for the game? Might just start it to crack packs. Yeah, definitely. Like the first like beginner's deck building guide thing I did is still relevant, and I'm gonna make an updated one. Like I feel very gratified, like or validated. That's it. I feel very validated for my tier list, my initial tier list, because it's been pretty consistent, I think, still. But like I'll have an updated guide tomorrow or the next day. Like I'm gonna make one before I go off to Sacramento. Is it just me, or is every game the same in this? Is every game the same in this game? No, I mean, like, it's pretty simple, right? But, like, I don't know. I think you have to make some adjustments based off of how the draws go. You look cool.
For the cool?
Mm-hmm. That looks really warm and fun.
It's nice.
Renee came out to model a jacket that she doesn't wear because we live in California, but she's gonna spend Thanksgiving in Detroit where it's a little colder. So, yeah. Alright, the age-old question. Do I X-speed now to play around red card? They're more likely to red card me on turn 1 than they are to Sabrina me on turn 1. So I think we always go for the play around red card in this spot. Happy anniversary, Martian. Thank you, thank you. Now we know that I've been a partner for some years. So this is the deck that the Mewtwo is supposed to especially, the non-EX Mewtwo is supposed to especially help with, but I haven't drawn my one of tech card in the beginning of the game, so it'll be hard to tell just how helpful it really is. I guess that would have been a reason to hold off on using my X speed, because if I draw Mewtwo, like Baby Mewtwo now, I can't just retreat my... Yeah, I can't just, like, easily retreat my Mewtwo into it. Not drawing the text, such a skill issue. I know, right? What am I doing? I actually think it was a bit of a skill issue this time. I should have held off on the X speed. I could have retreated into the Mewtwo. But also, with the start my opponent's having, I don't feel like the Mewtwo tech was very necessary, because they're not going to be able to hit me with a Pikachu EX on turn 1 and turn 2, which would have been the reason you'd want to have the Mewtwo to soak damage there. This coming turn, if they leave up Pikachu active without evolving it, I'm just going to knock it out with Psy Sphere. And the turn after that, we knock out whichever EX. It's just going to be easy peasy. That's why I think this deck has like minimal replayability. It's pretty straightforward, right? Like it's just basically spamming Psy Sphere. But I don't know, it's a little less boring than I thought it was like a month ago, because there's a bit of interesting things you can do. Just as far as like Giovanni and Sabrina go. My opponent was not expecting me to be able to knock out their... This Giovanni doesn't always come in clutch with this deck because the Mewtwo does 150 damage, which is enough to knock out most things. But every once in a while, you get like a Psy Drive or a 100x 160 HP Pokemon for your... You get like a Psy Sphere for 60 KO, or you get a Psy Drive for 160 on an Executor EX or Dragonite KO, and you're like, yeah, Giovanni, let's go. But yeah, my opponent was thinking I didn't have a Giovanni in my deck that usually doesn't need a Giovanni, which I think is fair. I think it's fair to take that gamble sometimes, but because there are so few good cards in the game right now, decks are more likely to have these hyper situational tech cards like Giovanni. So it's like whenever the next round of cards comes out, if it adds more generally useful cards for the Mewtwo deck, then you extra want to not consider Giovanni when you make plays. We top deck X speed. Yeah, I guess for now it's a little risky. So maybe I take it back a little bit. Maybe they shouldn't have done that. Alright, well. Unfortunately, that thing is literally never knocking out anything that I've got going in. I don't see a reason to or not to do anything. I think we just vibe. Vibe for one turn, and then if they retreat for the Magnemite in order to not give me 2 points, well, okay, now we're sad. I take it all back. So if they retreat for Magnemite or for Petra, then we're sad because we can't end the game. But yeah, we'll just Power Blast them, right? So we're fine. Which would you say is better generally, a Potion or a Giovanni? Probably Giovanni. For most decks, I would cut Potion before I would cut Giovanni. Potion, I think, especially sometimes, like... So if you think about this deck versus this deck, Mewtwo has 150 health, Pikachu hits twice for a total of 180 damage. So if you use one potion, right, that doesn't change the math at all. But if you use both potions, then the Mewtwo gets to survive 2 shots from the Pikachu if it doesn't have a Giovanni. So like, when potion is useful, sometimes it requires both potions. And like, that just doesn't happen too often, so... I think generally the Mewtwo deck is just better. Or, I'm sorry, I think generally just Giovanni is better. Because it lets you hit breakpoints and stuff. And there aren't that many supporters in the game that you would want to use a supporter every single turn. So, the fact that Giovanni is a supporter doesn't matter as much as it could. Alright, now I need to play another deck. Have you played Coughing Koga Poison Lock? I played a ton of Coughing Koga decks. Should I play another one now? Do you guys think Dragonite or Weezing Arbok? Let me just see, like, there was a tournament where it did well. We'll see how that's going. The Champion X Primate. People are running a lot of fighting decks just to kind of like play around stuff. Oh, I bet it's on Limitless. I should go to Limitless to see lists. Tournaments. Limitless Pocket Tournament. Alright, so this one had 100. Oh, it's ongoing. So next 7 days, past 7 days. Alright, this one had 209 players. And how did our friend Weezing do? didn't even show up. I'd heard that Weezing Arbok was a deck, so I wanted to see how people were playing that, but like, it looks like it was just a one and done, unless there's like another tournament that had it. Here's another one with 256. Yeah, it's like Mewtwo and Pikachu are the good decks. Shocking. I'm shocked. I haven't had a chance to play Venusaur Butterfree yet. Should I play that? Have I tried Weezing Arbok? Not recently. That's what I was looking, is like, are people still playing that? Is it nothing? Is it fake news? Or am I looking to see this info? Boop. Okay, go. Your opponent uses Giovanni to kill our boy. We can't heal it back because it's dead. True. Alright. Let me change this to Weezing Arbok, I guess? I don't know. Is that... Well, like, should I do that, or should I do... Venusaur Butterfree, or I could do... I kind of want to do Venusaur Butterfree. That sounds fun, actually. So never mind. Get me out of here. No votes for you guys. I'm just going to play whatever I want. Get wrecked. If you guys really wanted me to play Arbok Weezing, I would do that. You just heard about it and you're curious? Well, I was curious too. Should I just play that? I can just play that. It's fine. That thumbnail will probably be easier. And my previous Venusaur video attempts have been pretty big flops, so maybe save that for later if people think Ekans, Arbok, Coughing Weezing would be cool. It doesn't run anything else, right? It's just those. You know, like, I ran a Meowth. The first time I played this deck, I ran a Meowth just to, like, complete the Team Rocket theme. But, yeah. Play the Chumboist deck? Alright, I'll play the Chumboist deck. The Chumboist deck is whichever deck I'm playing right now. At any given time. Don't have room for potions, which is fine, right? Like, we don't have to potion these Pokemon. And I don't like red card. I think red card sucks. I think red card sucks butt. Chat. Come on. Alright, let's go play some this. Do you run one copy of the Muck line? Should I? Now's the time to get me to do it. Do you think I should? I don't think I would. Like, unless like you thought I was good. Cause like, isn't it kind of bad? Isn't Muck kind of bad? I think it's bad. So for a grand total of 3 energies, this thing can deal 120 damage plus poison. I require a Koga to not lose my Weezing to make this happen. The Grimer has 3 retreat cost. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. If the Grimer had 1 retreat cost, I'd be open to it. But like, you start Grimer, you're down a point. There's nothing you can do about it other than cry and be sad. Renee knows what I'm talking about. Going first, gross. And I didn't even start with the good to go first Pokemon. So this is not going well for me. What is nice is my opponent gets to take a bunch of free dark chip damage for having a unfavorable type situation against me. And they don't even get to retreat, which is extra fun. I guess this is a situation where having a potion would be handy. Because they do get to go double... Oh, they could have Giovanni. If they have Giovanni, whatever. It's my new opinion. Should I Sabrina? I don't know. They can Giovanni me if they want. I don't think being a coward and playing Arbok and missing out on 40 damage is gonna do any favors for me. Also, okay, I was about to say, am I supposed to Sabrina and hit my friend Curlia on the bench there? But not now that they have a Ralts to sacrifice. There's the Giovanni. Alright, I think we just lose? Probably? Almost certainly lose if they have Sabrina. Not Sabrina, Gardevoir. My opponent just kind of got the Stone Cold Nuts. That'd be unfortunate. But I think I'm, again, going to go ahead and get in my Ekans chip damage. And if they have it, they have it. Like Giovanni number 2 or Gardevoir. Right, we're just playing our outs here. Setting them up for an Arbok knockout. So they need both potions to not lose. They need a Curlia or a Giovanni to win. Not Curlia, Gardevoir. That Curlia does nothing for them. Alright, do you have the second potion? What a rookie! You were supposed to have 2 potions! Or lethal. Alright, sick. My Ekans setup and preemptive Giovanni worked out great. It worked out great for everyone involved, especially me. Get cornered. Look at that, chat. It feels so good to play to your outs and then be rewarded for it. Opponent needs a Gardevoir active to live this turn. And then they can't knock out the Arbok this turn. Unless if they got both Gardevoir, they could knock out the Arbok this turn. But unless they got both Gardevoir, they weren't knocking out Arbok this turn. And in the event that they did, they wouldn't be able to retreat the Gardevoir. If they got one Gardevoir just to live, they wouldn't be able to retreat the Gardevoir to switch into something else. So I think they're just stuck now. Like, they can't retreat this Mewtwo either. Oh, I mean, I just Sabrina, right? Like, I was about to, like, whittle down the Mewtwo to get my final points, but I'll just Sabrina, take a point this way. Good deal. Good job, Arbok. I'm so proud of you. Get wrecked, Curlia. That's even your real name. That actually felt pretty decent. I did hit the favored matchup, though, so there's that. It's how this deck does into non-Mewtwo things that is the important part. Going first again. Can we start with coughing this time? Oh. Alright, we'll get a coughing off of this and we'll top deck next speed. It'll be perfect. It'll be perfect, chat. Just you wait and see. Just you wait and see. Just how perfect it really is. Alright, my opponent is playing what can only be classified as a deck of all time. Well, we top deck the coughing, so let's get an X speed with our Pokeball. Get it, chat? Because it doesn't work that way. Why does this have to be just Muck or Weezing? What if this was just a dark Pokemon? What then? That'd be pretty cool, because then I could still attack with my Weezing after retreating this Ekans. But what is nice about the Weezing is it gets to do something without ever having an energy on it. It's like, a lot of the time, it's like, why not just have Tackle deal damage and also poison? But, you know, it's cute with Koga because you can poison them, Koga it out of the way, and then lock people in with the Arbok. Or, in situations like this, you still get to poison even though you couldn't quite find everything else you needed. Well then, are they going to retreat? They are not. I'm gonna sacrifice an Ekans. That's my plan. Do I attach a Coughing? Do I attach to Coughing to play around Sabrina, or do I attach to Ekans to set up the corner for the near future? I guess I'm always cornering if they knock out Ekans with Articuno this turn. But it makes me sad if they Sabrina me, because then I have to either give up my only Coughing or, you know, lose out on an energy for the turn, which is bad news. Hello, hope this question does not offend, but when are you playing Hearthstone? I am playing Hearthstone tomorrow. Alright, do we give up the Coughing or do we give up the Ekans? I guess we'll give up the Ekans. Feels a little bad, but, you know, it is what it is. Retreated, huh? Interesting. Alright, I can live with that. Like, the blizzards were going to make it so that my Arbok, when I eventually get to use it, gets one shot. And, like, Weezing wasn't really doing too much against that Articuno, but this means I can start ruining this Lapras. I do need to attach to Arbok this turn, though. See, if they top deck another Sabrina, maybe this is bad news for me. Happy partner anniversary, you guess? Thank you. Alright, no Sabrina this turn. We have the other Koga, so we can deny another point here. Did we miss an energy attachment last turn? Uh-oh. Not we, I mean, like, my opponent. Did they miss an energy attachment? I think they did. Alright, so we'll get our thing back. Send up Arbok. And it'll be a little sketchy, but not too sketchy if they Sabrina me in this spot. My Weezing's gonna have to take a point all by itself after this Arbok goes down to the Articuno. They're gonna go back to 100. Does Giovanni help me? So they're gonna go back to 100. Then... oh, Sabrina's gonna be devastating if they have it. I can deal 70, so they would die coming back to my turn, not even? Wait, was that brutal, chat? Was that actually just brutal? So I deal 70, they go to 10, then they heal back. I can knock it out with the Weezing, but then the Weezing has to take the first Articuno attack instead of the Arbok, which is just really, really, really bad. Giovanni no longer does anything for me, does it? So I deal 60, they go to 20 left, they heal back to 40, so Weezing still knocks out with one hit. Does the Giovanni... I can just play it this coming turn if I still need it, right? So it's not like it really makes much of a difference. I don't really see myself winning this video game, quite frankly. And we're already out of Kogas, right? I've used 2. Yeah. So I would have to like hard retreat Weezing. Wow, you have your partnership birthday today. I do. With all my heart, I do. Chat, was this Lapras clutch? The original Sabrina was clutch, I think. That set me back a lot. I don't know that playing it differently would have really changed much, but it was a little sad. Okay, so benching this means they can just Sabrina for their last point. But I need to be able to retreat into a Weezing to have a chance to win this thing. So, like, if I was going to not play this, it would be playing to not lose instead of playing to win. And if they have the Sabrina, they have it. That's my big opinion on that. Is it only Gen 1? It's very Gen 1 heavy, but it's not only Gen 1. Like, they have all 151 originals in this one, and they have, like, some other stuff. Probably no reason to Sabrina here, right? Also, we just lose. Maybe they'll send up the other Articuno. You never know. Never know what they'll do. If they don't send up the other Articuno, I'm just gonna concede. Goodbye. Alright, here's a coughing. Going second. Of course, when I'm going second, I start with the coughing. The card that I want to start with when I go first. And always, but still. Does Ditto have a viable deck? That's funny, that's the second time I've been asked that today. The Ditto doesn't really have a viable deck. People try it to like counter stuff. Like, you could put it in something that has psychic energy, so you could like knock out a Mewtwo with it, but then if you're running something with psychic energy, you should just be playing a Mewtwo. So it doesn't really have a use, because its attack requires it to have the energies from the Pokemon it's copying. Like, it doesn't just need to have the raw volume of energy, it needs to also have the specific type. And there's not a good way to guarantee that you'll have that type. Did you hear they're paywalling Battlegrounds again? Are they paywalling it, or are they just adding the extra pay to win? What's the new paywall? I know about the re-rolling of the heroes during the hero select, but is there an actual paywall? Pay to win re-roll? Well, that's not a paywall. That's just, you know, an advantage for paying, which is very different. So, like, in Hearthstone, for those of you who don't play it, there's a constructed mode, which is what I typically play, and then there's an auto battler mode, which I don't really play. And a while back they made it so that if you pay, you have 2 extra options in champ select, which, like, for me, I think is a great way to divvy it up. So, like, you can play the whole game for free. You just, like, which of the random options you get is halved if you're not paying. So, like, for free, like, once you pick your hero, the game is the same for everybody. Like, your access to the game is the same for everyone involved. So it's just kind of like you get a little bit more options on each try if you pay a little bit, which I think is completely acceptable. The paid rerolls, so they're making it so that you have these like new tokens, right? So you get some just for playing sometimes, I think, but otherwise you have to buy them. And you can re-roll which hero you get one time per 1 token you spend. So if you're willing to just dump money on a single game of Battlegrounds, you can get a paid advantage. Like it's another slight advantage though, like the slight advantage from doubling your total options. You still get complete access to the game once you pick your character. You know, it's like once the game has started, there's no difference. So, it's more pay to win, not paywall. Yeah, it's just not paywall at all. It's a little pay to win thing. But yeah, I heard about it. I don't know that. I'm trying to decide. It sounded a little bit more egregious to me, just because the people that like someone who has literally endless money can just throw tokens at it every single game to have an increased chance of having the hero you want. So if I'm offended by it, it's not that it's added a pay to win element to the game, it's that it's added a like predatory aspect to the game, right? Like, there are people who shouldn't be spending that money that will like feel like they have to, you know, like feel compelled. So it basically preys off of an unhealthy habit for people who are weak-willed with their money, I guess is why I wouldn't like it. But I don't know, it's probably fine. Do you think they'll add rare candies to the game? I don't know that rare candy will do what it does in paper TCG, but I would imagine they will add it in some way. And I imagine that they'll add a way to skip the stage 1 at some point. They might not, frankly. I don't know. It's really hard to say what they'll do. They have so many options with that type of thing. But yeah, you're not going to get to drive off and then blizzard this Weezing. No schmadam. Should I put this down? I think so. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways. This Articuno is stuck. It's not going anywhere. Would I ever play a greedy big beast hunter in wild? Maybe. Either that or I won't. In which order do you usually pick prizes? I personally think everyone should go do 6, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. I think I go closest to me, so it's like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is what I think I typically do, but I don't really think about it. All right, so they're gonna go to 50. They're dead if I Giovanni, right? Right? Chat? Yeah. Wow. Got him. Not much advantage to skip stage 1. It's an advantage for Mewtwo going first, if you could rare candy into Gardevoir. Then that's why I've been pushing like Evo Soda would be a better card to add to this game than Rare Candy, because Rare Candy doesn't help Charizard. It doesn't help, like, Rare Candy helps Charizard in the same way that an Evo Soda would, as in like it gives you extra cards in your deck that you can draw to be able to evolve, right? Like you don't have to draw Charmeleon. You can also draw Rare Candy. But that Evo Soda would help Charizard and Mewtwo in the same way, but Rare Candy is going to very disproportionately affect the Mewtwo deck, because the Rare Candy doesn't speed up getting energies on the Charizard, but it does speed up getting energies on the Mewtwo. So you, like, if you want Mewtwo to be even better than the other Stage 2 decks for longer, then you can add Rare Candy. But if you want to kind of even out all Stage 2 decks, then you want to add something like Evo Soda to just search your deck for an evolution and put it on that Pokemon if it's been out of turn. Evo Soda is better for Charizard. It's like can be a Charizard too. But it's also like can be a Curlia or a Gardevoir. It doesn't. I was just saying like. Anyways. Mean versus Rare Candy. Right. Yeah. Can you build a Blaine deck in a Surge deck? I'm sure it sucks, but it would be a way to use an interesting card. Evo Soda is better than Rare Candy for Charizard? Yes, it is. It is. I agree. That was my point. All right. I think what you're saying like as far as it helping from the aspect of drawing things that can draw towards the consistency of your deck, Evo Soda is, yes, inherently better than Rare Candy, but not for Charizard, for anything. So like the reason I was bringing it up was to compare how a card like Evo Soda would affect Stage 2 generally, and Rare Candy would affect Stage 2s generally. So yes, Evo Soda is a more consistent... like as far as finding pieces and versatility finding pieces, Evo Soda is strictly better than Rare Candy for all Stage 2 decks. But my examples was specifically to point out why Rare Candy is disproportionately powerful for Mewtwo deck versus for Stage 2s generally. As a reason why they should like do that, not to just make Mewtwo the Stage 2 deck that's the best forever. Didn't realize you were duo streaming. I may or may not have slightly doxed yourself. What? How? Word, Skydown, word. Okay, so for Blaine and Surge decks, I have both of those on my YouTube channel already. So if you go to PokeTube, if you go to that link, you can see, just scroll through my videos. They're both there. I have a deck for each one. By using your real name on YouTube, you show up as Tom Carter on YouTube to me. Like you are the Tom Carter that was talking in my YouTube chat. And I know that's not your real name, so. Once you switched accounts. Oh. Well, I don't know how to link the two of you, so you're very funny. All right. Well, we're going second. We have Giovanni, so there's no point in trying to set up some kind of trick Weezing thing to knock out this Dratini. And I didn't use Bite. I stink. Shh. Let's never speak of this game again. Why'd you lose? Oh, like on the last one, why'd I concede? I'm streaming these games for YouTube, and the conversation I was having at the beginning of the last game would not have easily transitioned to a YouTube video, so I conceded just to move on to a usable game. And in that last case, I shame conceded. Harris on point today, looking very dapper. Hey, thanks, person. Okay, well, we're going second, which is good, right? Because we want to be able to corner the Pikachu so it can't retreat. Problem is, I don't have an Arbok in hand. There's a new event next week for Wonder Pick. What is it? What is it? Wow, this board is so distracting. Like, I wish I could just set it to always be the basic board, you know? Like, isn't this like harder to look at to you guys? Yeah, like the cards don't really pop off of this board. They kind of get lost in it. Look how much they pop off of this board. This board's just better, isn't it? Am I tripping? As the kids say. Alright, didn't draw our box, so I have to retreat, which is really sad for me. You hate premium boards? Yeah, it just looks really bad, just from a presentation standpoint, right? Like, it would be a little bit different for me from, like, if I'm just playing by myself, I don't care as much, but, like, I'm playing to stream this game, right? So, I don't know, I feel like this board doesn't have the same watchability. I don't know, it's pretty irritating looking. That Giovanni was a choice. I guess with that Giovanni, they can, like, Sabrina me next turn, knock out the Ekans, and then they can just Zebstrika the Weezing behind, like, if I put something else up. I don't know if that matters too much. But they can still Zebstrika. It doesn't do anything. The Giovanni just, like, it was whatever. I think Arcanine and some other fire types. Like, is there a new alternate or what? There's a quest, collect 5 Arcanines. Does it go retroactively, or I have to get them now? So if I have to get 5 Arcanine... Well, isn't there always a collect 5 Arcanines quest? Like for an avatar? It's Charizard? Alright, I need a link, yeah. This is too little information. Alright, I lose. Unlucky. Yeah. Evo Soto would be cracked for this deck too. It'd be so nice. Boom. Boom. Oh, you're giving me a YouTube video? I don't want to watch a YouTube video while I'm streaming. All freebies and rewards in the next event. First look. Three new mystery fishing modes. Okay, so okay, the Wonder Pick has Arcanines and Charizards in it, like just fire types generally. Increased appearance of a special fire-themed event will take place. The event will introduce increased appearance frequency of a specific Pokemon that are normally rare, special challenges with unique rewards, opportunity to obtain rare cards and exclusive items through specific missions. So collect an Arcanine EX, you get some stuff. Wonder Pick 3 times, Wonder Pick 5, collect 5 fire, collect 10 fire, collect 15 fire. So I have to get a new Arcanine EX? That's a little stupid. But I guess it can be increased chance to come out of the Wonder Pick. Okay. Probably be fine. There's a Black Friday event? That's funny. Oh, there's a Magikarp in Gyarados? Huh. I've only skimmed this, so, like, who knows, but... there you are. Alright, my opponent has lots of Pikachus out. I can say that much. I can say that much, and I will. There are a lot of Pikachus on my opponent's board. I wonder in Hand Scope for a laugh, which is better as a one of? X-Speed, Giovanni, or Sabrina? Probably Giovanni. I don't mind the boards much. The music drives me nuts, though. I know I'm wrong and I'm a hater. I don't like the mulligan music. Bam, 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 over and over and over forever until my opponent finishes their mulligan step. That music drives me nuts. This music I think is okay. I'm wondering if I should like stop streaming music that I can't use on YouTube for my Hearthstone channel and start having the Hearthstone game music in the background now that I don't edit these things as thoroughly. So like, is it better to have music? That's why I do it for this. Because otherwise all my videos, my first few videos did not have the Pokemon music in them on my Pokemon channel. And then someone said, why is there no music? And I thought, huh, why is there no music? And then I started using the Pokemon music just because I figured it would be more watchable. But I don't know if that's actually the case or not. Renee, you have all the answers. What do you think?
Chumbo.
She said Chumbo.
What was the question?
It doesn't require an explanation. It's fine.
Did Chumbo at least work Matt Wood's style?
You can always triple channel the audio. I do. That's how I cut it out of things. But like, I don't want to have Pokemon music playing and also have, you know, Spotify music playing, right? While during my live stream. And the point of using the music that just goes along with the game is that way I don't have to add it in later during the YouTube channel portion of the video, which is a step I very much want to avoid doing for daily videos. You know, like when you're doing a daily video, chat, if you're an aspiring YouTubist that wants to stream and also have a YouTube, and your plan for your YouTube channel is to just post gameplay like I do, quantity over quality, all the way. You know, the people who want to watch just gameplay, they don't really care too much about how pruned the content is. It's better to just get like a lot out there all the time. I used to like super high effort my Hearthstone channel and like really trim out all the dead space every time I say every time I cough the wrong way, speed up turns where my opponent does too many things and a conversation isn't happening. You know, like I used to do all that stuff and it would take me hours and hours and hours to do. And then like I switched to barely edited daily gameplay, and it's just worked out so much better. Like the videos are more popular, I'm posting more often. I feel like I didn't lose anything by doing that other than a giant chore I was doing all the time. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. So that's my recommendation. It's different if you're gonna post like commentary or, you know, something else. Like if you're gonna do like a video about a game instead of a video of the game, then you want to put more effort into it because quality is really going to matter in that case. But if you're just posting gameplay, you want daily gameplay, and the you know, putting a lot of effort into it isn't gonna sacrificing quantity for the sake of quality isn't gonna help you. How's that? You want to do the most quality you can while prioritizing the quantity. How's that? Does that work? One second. You should actually increase the volume of the coughs, deep fry that good stuff. Question about Pokemon TCG deck names. Why does box, as in water box, mean? I've seen it in multiple deck descriptions. So it's short for toolbox. So if you have water box, it's like it's a water deck, and then you have different attackers for different situations. So you have a toolbox of attackers. I just downloaded Pocket. What packs should I open? Depends. If you want the Mewtwo deck, open the Mewtwo pack. If you want the Pikachu deck, open the Pikachu pack. If you want the Charizard deck, open the Charizard pack. Then if you want the Articuno deck, you have to like open from all three of them. But the like the one thing is, if you're going Mewtwo or Pikachu, you're gonna want Sabrinas, which come out of the Charizard pack. So you're what I think is, unless you're building Charizard, what your strategy should be is open the pack that has all the cards in it and use your pack points to craft the Sabrinas. So that's what I would do if I was you and you wanted to play one of those two decks. But it's just kind of lucky that three of the main decks in the game all come out of a single pack. So like everything you need other than Sabrina's for the Pikachu deck is in the Pikachu pack, Everything you need other than Sabrina's for the Mewtwo deck is in the Mewtwo pack, and then everything you need for the Charizard deck is in the Charizard pack. Yeah, but then the water deck's all over the place. The Venusaur deck is mostly in the Mewtwo pack, but then you'll need Sabrina's and Exeggutor from the Charizard pack. Unless you want to do something else with a Venusaur. But like, you know, you really, if you want to have the most competitive deck possible, you want to be opening either Pikachu or the Mewtwo pack for one of those two decks. Because I think, you know, the Pikachu deck is the best in the game, and then a little bit behind that is the Mewtwo deck, and then way behind that is everything else, in my opinion. So opponent needs X speed and... Well, the Weezing will knock out this. It won't knock it out if it evolves. I'm deciding whether I should retreat or not. But like, Weezing will do... No, it would need a Giovanni to knock out that Ralts next turn. I'll just do this for now. If they knock it out, they knock it out. Like, they would have to have X speed and Giovanni to knock out the Ekans. In which case, I'd just start chipping away with the Weezing. I got Exeggutor from the tutorial. Is that what the 90... Exeggutor EX from the tutorial? Yeah. For the... If you wanted to build Exeggutor EX Venusaur, you would want the Exeggutor EX. There's only one so far. So yeah. But Venusaur EX, you know, temper your expectations. It's not a great deck. It's an alright deck. I don't think it's a great deck, though. Alright, I am ready to start chipping away at this Mewtwo. And I'm not going to evolve Arbok yet, because if they Sabrina me, I want to give them the damaged Ekans. I am opening myself up to a red card, but like, I think it'll be fine if they red card me. Because they're not knocking out Weezing next turn, and Weezing is dealing tons of damage to the Mewtwo. I've been having to pop in and out of the stream due to work. Would you be able to recap every talking point in the stream so far for you? Alright, so we talked about some stuff and then some things. We talked about Rare Candy versus Evo Soda. We talked about new event coming that features fire Pokemon. We talked about prioritizing quantity over quality for gameplay videos. We talked about which packs you should open if you're just getting into the game. And now we're talking about what we talked about. So I'm going to deal 50 with this tackle. They'll take 60. So the Giovanni makes it so that they have to retreat to not die from poison. They could also, obviously they could potion, but still, it's pretty good. How do I start over if you want to? I'm actually not sure. If you're not comfortable with your first roll, oh, okay, yeah, we're setting that up. Blorps. My opponent wishes they had a Curlia. Wow. Alright, so they knocked out the Weezing. Good for them. But the poison takes them down. Giovanni pays off. And if they send up their Mewtwo to avoid losing to me, then I just Sabrina for the KO. What do I think of Origami? I think it's cool. I wish I knew more Origami stuff. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. I give it 3 papers out of 4. Do I do Origami? No. I can make a plane. A bad plane. Wow. Thanks, Ace. Thanks for losing to me. Oh, perfect. Now I know everything. Yeah, there, you're good. You're good. You know everything you need to know that isn't something you need to know. Burp, 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 burp. Hey, going first, starting coughing. Oh my goodness. We had a competition at work and I over-engineered a plane. Uh-oh. That went straight into the floor. I'm so proud of you. So that's how my origami goes. I will probably Giovanni here to set up the gets knocked out coming back to my turn situation. I think that'll be pretty cool for me. Nah, that's rude. Nah. Ow. I could also not do that and try to find an Ekans this turn. I think I'll do it. I think it's worth it. Because if they're evolving, they're not doing anything to me next turn with the Pikachu. And you know, if they retreat, they're out in energy or out in X speed, which isn't that bad. Not that big a deal. Got second place because someone's plane deconstructed itself, went back into the sheet form. That's pretty funny. I've never made a plane that's gone further than an Origami Ninja Star. It's funny. Aww. But yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we set him up to get knocked out coming back to the turn again. Could also top deck the other Giovanni and just knock it out, which would be great. Womp womp. But at least we can go hunting for an Ekans. Ekans one time. Womp womp. Pretty bad news, I gotta say. But we still have another Professor's Research, 2 Pokeball, and 2 Ekans. So half the cards are a gateway to Ekans next turn. Will they retreat to deny the point? This is a really good Pokemon for them to leave on 10 HP because they only want to have this active when it's going to use Thunderbolt, right? Like when it's gonna, as their last attack. So it never needs to survive again once it goes to the bench, is my point. Really? Alright. I would have retreated for the Pikachu there. I think there's no downside to doing that. And they're sending up this one. I don't know about that, chat. I don't know about that. Seems questionable to me. Alright, now we need an Arbok, which is less likely to find here, but still kind of likely. So we have 2 Arboks and a Professor's Research, so a third of our hits are good when it comes to Arbok. And slightly more than that if you include the coughing. Because they're, like, if we don't find Arbok, but we do find Weezing, yeah, Weezing, not coughing, we can at least send up the Weezing. I don't know. I'll miss you, Weezing. So I'm going to send up Ekans here because it's just GG if we top deck Arbok. Like, it's just over. There's nothing they can do. But we'll just retreat into the Weezing if we don't find it. And by Weezing, I mean coughing. GG, get wrecked. Yeah. No, I don't really understand giving me the Raichu free point there. I think that worked really well for me. I don't think there was any downside to retreating for the Pikachu. Like baby Pikachu, not the Pikachu EX. What does this deck want from the next expansion? I think Weezing generally just wants a thicker, dark attacker. Like, something that, like... So, the question was, what does this deck want from the next expansion? So I think this deck is Weezing plus secondary attacker. And so we've tried Wigglytuff, we tried Alakazam, and they're both pretty decent. But I guess ideally, it would get a basic dark Pokemon that has a lot of health and has a high energy attack, right? So, like, I guess basic or stage 1. Any kind of dark Pokemon that has, like, you know, comparable to Pikachu EX, Mewtwo EX, Charizard EX, Starmie EX type of viability that requires a lot of energy. Because the Weezing is a really good cheap attacker for 1 point, but it needs something that, like, has a lot of... that hits really hard while it's chipping away in the early game. So, I don't know. That was a long way of saying, I guess, yes, it wants an EX. You didn't get an Alakazam yet? Yeah, I think Alakazam is a pretty interesting finisher for it. But it's also, like... Poop. It's also like poop. It's also stage 2. And it's a stage 2 that doesn't have that much health. So, like, it can be pretty killable, I guess. And it does require your opponent to have a specific amount of energies, but I don't know. That doesn't usually matter as far as the Alakazam. But it also does require you to run psychic energies in your energy pool, which doesn't always work against it, but frequently does. So, like, you want your first energy to be dark to be able to put it on the Weezing, and when that ends up psychic, you know, you're slowed down damage-wise. So, ideally... Jeepers. This does almost nothing for me, but I'm doing it anyway, because I don't know what else to do. I just lose, right? Like, I needed to hit Weezing last turn. Evo Soda would also be good for this deck. Like, if the next expansion contains something that's search for evolutions, it'd make it better. Hope you're doing well. Your last Questlog vid was very entertaining. Glad you guys liked that one. I'm shocked how well it did, frankly. It did really good. I was expecting that one to be, like, mid at best. Happy Marchy Day. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Going first, starting with coughing. Good deal. And we have a Weezing in hand, which is great for me. Ooh, we have both evolutions in hand. Look at us go. Everything's coming together, chat. Everything's coming together. And if they Sabrina us, we have an X speed. Good start. You did warn that it would increase the amount of quest lock on ladder. Yeah, I did on my Hearthstone channel, I posted a deck that's, like, kind of polarizing. as far as like viewership goes, and I was just, you know, it's a meta deck that is very good into a certain section of the player base, and I was kind of expecting it to be a semi-flop, but it ended up doing really well. So it's impossible to quite tell on either platform, like either Pokemon or Hearthstone, just how good a video will do. Because sometimes, you know, like typically super meta decks don't do very well for me on my Hearthstone channel, but this one did. Sometimes it just works out that way. Blitzel. I haven't. So I posted a few Pikachu vids, and they haven't done super well. My Mewtwo vids have done okay. Grass, I've noticed, hasn't done very well. Like, I think I've posted 2 grass videos, and neither of them, they were both kind of flops. Then Dragonite is the only thing I've noticed for Pokemon that like consistently gets numbers. So all of my Dragonite videos have done well. So people like Dragonite, and why wouldn't they? That's all I know about Pokemon Pocket so far. As far as what gameplay people want, they want to see the Dragonite. Okay, opponent has 70 health. I will not be able to attack with an Arbok. I did not get a Koga. No reason to do anything, right? So if I hit for 50, they're not knocked out coming back to my turn. So we're just doing this. They can retreat and send up the Electrode. I noticed on Reddit that some people are in hate of EX Pokemon. Yeah, the EX I think was a mistake to introduce to this right off the bat, / ever. I think 2 prize Pokemon have only ever been well implemented in the Ruby Sapphire era, so it's like 2004 to 2008 or whatever. That time period. I think it's been a large negative for the game. But I think I'd rather save my Weezing and just like give up this Ekans as a point, you know. I think that seems pretty good to me. But the reason that they do it is I think it sells packs a lot better. Like when you have ultra rares available, it's like really exciting to open up an EX compared to in the before times. It was like, you know, getting a holo was really nice, but then they started putting holo on everything and it kind of took away from it. So like, you know, having EXs as ultra rares to pull and special arts of ultra rares of EXs to chase in packs sells, right? Like, you're more excited to see an EX when you open a pack, even in this game, than you are I have 1 point already. I feel like I can't afford. I can hit the Electrode once. I don't know. Maybe this was bad. Well, I could Sabrina. Yeah, we'll just Sabrina. They can either give me the Blitzel now, or they can give me the Pikachu now. Yeah. And then nothing one-shots Arbok. So yeah, if they send up anything other than Pikachu, then they just lose to the Weezing after. And what I can do now is retreat into the Weezing. Double X speed retreat. Is that what I should do? Yeah, now that I can defend the Arbok with this. Definitely. So yeah, I think the 2-prize Pokemon have largely come at the cost of good gameplay for Pokemon in both Pokemon Pocket and in the paper card game. But it does a lot for the like pack opening experience and them making money. So I think just the fact that collecting Pokemon cards is such a large part of the appeal of Pokemon cards, it's always going to be better for them to have EXs. I honestly just hate EX basic mons. Same issue as Haymaker in the start. I do think that's a problem with the current paper card game right now, is just how strong the basic Pokemon EX decks can be. Like the Raging Bolts deck, if that deck alone didn't exist, I think there would be a lot of strategies that would be more viable than they are right now. But because Raging Bolt is such a speed check on your deck that like there's just a lot of stuff that just doesn't work. So I do think the faster ones are more of the problem. But I also feel like Charizard EX and Mewtwo EX, you know, those decks require stage 2, so they're slow enough, but the amount of damage they deal and the amount of health they have is too disproportionate to non-EX Pokemon. Like, I understand they have to deal more and have more health, but I think the amount that they do is too much. So there we go. Okay, so my opponent has kind of put me in a little bit of a check situation here, huh? I'm going to send up the Arbok. No. Yeah, I'm just toasty roasty, I think. If they have a Sabrina, I think I just lose. I have a Sabrina. I've used no Sabrinas yet, so they're either not running it, which is possible because they don't have, they have so many evolutions, right? Or they still have one. One thing that's broken about EXs is having 2 attacks. I don't think that's as broken. I think the EXs mostly have one really strong attack, and then they have like the flexibility of, like a little bit of flexibility. The only EX Pokemon that I think the second attack really matters is Mewtwo. I do wish that non-EX Pokemon in this game were allowed to have more than one attack. And I do think that most of the reason that EXs are a problem is because the health and damage on them is too much. Okay, so we don't have a Sabrina. Is there anything that can be done? No, right? GG, wrap it up. Did I use both my Sabrinas? I only used one. If I had another one here, we won, right? Because if they send up the Heliolisk, we could retreat into Arbok and get it, but yeah. So yeah, I think EXs were generally a mistake. Like modern EXs are generally a mistake. Modern 2-prizers. Everything from Black and White on, 2-prizers have been a mistake. And adding them to Pocket is a mistake just gameplay-wise. But if you're thinking about like the game as it's a collecting game that has some gameplay in it, you know, it makes a lot of sense. They could be balanced a lot better. Burr, 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 burr. Wow. All right. Can we get an Ekans? Yay. This is a really cute Ekans picture, by the by. Sitting there with his rainbow. Thanks, Table. How you doing? It's getting a little dark in here. Did that fix it? I don't know. Not really. Yeah. Kind of towards the end here, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. My opponent is playing Execute Wigglytuff. Interesting. Execute Wigglytuff. I'm hungry. Love your beard and especially your content. May I ask how old am I? I'm upwards of 10,000 years old. How's that? Should I release my age to the general public? Should I let them know how ancient the Martian truly is? I believe I'm 35, I think. Can't say for sure. Almost certain it's 35 though. Goodbye, Execute. Is this, if this was the, no, I take it back. Nope. I was about to say something stupid. You'll never know what it is because I caught myself. Ha 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 ha. I mistyped a Pokemon in one of my other videos, and I forget if the correction made it into the vid or not. But I called Galarian Weezing a true Dark type when it's really Poison Fairy. Older than born, younger than dead is my go-to. Older than born, younger than dead. When I'm asked that question in Hearthstone, I say, what did I say older than? I think I said older than your refrigerator, but like, it's not necessarily true. But yeah, older than your refrigerator, younger than Illidan is what I would say. Illidan is famously imprisoned for 10,000 years. Alright, well, we couldn't save this Weezing, but we don't need to save them all, do we? Alright, so Exeggutor is taking some poison damage. We have to get through a lot of Ericas and stuff. I think it doesn't matter once you're above a certain age. I just know what year I was born. Doesn't change. I can run for president, right? Isn't it 35? Did you guys vote me for president? If I ran? My opponent thinks that Wigglytuff is ever going to be part of this match, when really this Exeggutor is just going to be stuck active for the duration of its time. Goodbye, Weezing. Here's this. Unfortunately, I don't think humans can vote for Martian presidency. It's true. I was thinking about running in the American human election, but at this point, you know, you guys can vote for me for president of the Martians. Good luck, opponent. Let's see, if they Erica, they go to 90. They could survive a turn if they Erica. Double potion doesn't help them. It has to be Erica. Hi, Balvin. Balvin? Balvan? I don't know how to pronounce that. You would vote for me? Thank you, Tom. Wonder what the Martian presidency would look like. I'd finally get rid of EXs in Pokemon. That's what I'd run on. I used to say I would run on getting rid of daylight saving time. It's pronounced Balvidon, the last Kaleidosaur. Ah, I see. Balvin, it's Boulder and Czech. That's cool. All right. Corner. Goodbye, Executor. Why don't you get wrecked? Yay! Wow. This ended up being okay, right? Like, it's clearly not like a top 3 deck or anything like that, but it's decent. It feels about as fragile as Charizard. I think it's probably close enough. And so concludes the Pokemon stream. How many we got? 26. Oh, still beating YouTube. 26 Twitch viewers, 25 YouTube viewers. Anyways, you guys been great. I'll see you next time. I'm not going to bother rating anybody, but I hope you all have a great week. I'm going to be back to stream some Hearthstone tomorrow. I will not be streaming Pokemon again until next week, but then I'll stream a lot of Pokemon. So if you like the Pokemon stuff, you will see more of it soon, TM.